Hello biology, and welcome back to another Wednesday of e-learning. So today I'm going to introduce the Epigenetics Project that you're going to be working on today, Thursday, and Friday. So for your introduction, you should now have an understanding of epigenetics and how it can affect the expression of genes or lack thereof. You are now going to identify a real-life problem, one in our community, Bloomington Normal, or one in our whole state. So you can choose a more local one or a more statewide issue that can lead to a negative change in the expression of genes. The problem can be a study of water quality, the amount of fast food restaurants in the area, lack of grocery stores, amount of pollution, etc. Additionally, you will need to examine the demographics of the community within the state of Illinois in which you study. So if you decide to examine Bloomington Normal, I would need you to break down the demographics in terms of like race, ethnicities, socioeconomic status. So is it a high poverty area or a low poverty area? Are there a lot of middle class people there? Things like that. Then you will create a presentation of your findings. Keep in mind, you must relate your findings to the topic of epigenetics. Apply it to a real-life problem, and then you will design a realistic solution to help solve the problem. So, for example, if you choose the amount of smokers in a town, whether it's Bloomington Normal or a different part of Illinois, what you can look at is how it might pollute the air and affect the air quality, and maybe look at how the rate of asthma, and maybe you'll be able to look at how the expression of an asthma gene or lack thereof is affected by the amount of smokers in that area. So your task is to answer these questions here. Okay, so you're going to use this as like a planning sheet, and then eventually you're going to use all of the information in questions 1 through 7 to create a presentation using Google Slides. So first thing you're going to do is define epigenetics, then identify the problem and the community in which the problem exists. So if your problem is in, let's say, El Paso, Illinois, you're going to need to say that. Or if you choose a town like Carbondale, or if you choose Bolingbrook or Chicago, whatever, you just need to tell me what community you're researching and what your problem is there. So is there water quality bad? Is there a high rate of smoking? Are there a lot of fast food restaurants, etc.? Identify the harmful results that you think this community's problem would lead to. So if there's a lot of fast food restaurants, it might lead to higher obesity issues. If there's a lot more smoking, it might lead to higher rates of asthma, things like that. Identify the gene that relates to the negative impact identified in number 3. So each gene in human DNA has a name. So you're going to need to do some research here on the Google machine to figure out the name of the gene that obesity might relate to. Collect data to correlate the gene, the problem, and how the expression of the gene is impacted due to the problem. Data that would correspond to the gene would be where the gene is located in your DNA, the gene's size, how it functions in human beings, and how would the community problem change or affect its function. So again, number 4 and 5 especially, you are going to need to do some Googling here, some research, just beyond what we've talked about in class in order to answer those questions. And to do that, there are resources that can help that are hyperlinked up here. Who is it affecting? So analyze the demographics of the population within the community you are studying. Demographics would include race, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, so lower, middle, and upper class, and age. So are there a lot of old people? Are there young people? Is there a combo? Let me know. And then finally, you are going to design a realistic solution to the problem at the local and governmental level. Here are the general rules that may or may be specific to your topic. Okay? May or may not should be more than one sentence. If it requires funding, funding must be realistic. So you can't say, with $1 billion, we're going to solve this problem. Okay, that's great. How are you going to get the funds in order to do that? What offices / organizations would you have to go to get the funding? So would it be like the mayor of our town? Would it be the treasurer? Would it be maybe a secretary? We don't know. That is going to be your goal and your job to find that out. And then you cannot break any Illinois state laws. So if we have too many fast food restaurants, you can't say something like, go burn it down. No, that's not what I'm looking for. And you also can't say, well, if there's people smoking, just tase them. No, you can't do that either. That would be assault, and we don't want that. So again, you cannot break Illinois state laws. I figured that would be something to point out here. And then eventually you are going to take all of this information and you are going to put it in a Google Slides presentation. We will not be presenting to the class or anything. I will be the only ones grading these. If there is someone that you would like to work with, I am fine with that. All I ask is that you put both of your names on the presentation and both of you fill out this resource sheet before you put it all in a Google slideshow. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. But we will also talk about more of this in class on Thursday. So just start to get an idea, start researching, maybe identify your problem today, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with.